Here with the poet and scholar Kaiser Haq, who's come in from Bangladesh to perform at the Globe Road Festival here at Queen Mary University. I just have a few questions for you. We're very proud that you appear twice in the latest issue of Wasafiri, the Bangladesh special. Can you tell us a little bit about your history with the magazine, because you've been featured several times?
I think it goes back to the year of the 50th anniversary of partition and
Right.
independence. Because I think that's when I had a poem in Wasafiri. Then a few years later, I had another couple of poems written at the Hawthornden Castle, where I spent a wonderful month. But I wish I had sent in more stuff to Wasafiri. It's a marvelous journal, you know. Some very sticky issues, you know, involved in Bangladeshi writing and its status in the country. So, and then it struck me that it was a bit like the condition of the Hijra, the intersexual community. Sex. Yes, I mean, it's, until very recently, didn't have any identity, because if you don't specify your gender, you can't get a passport, you can't vote, you can't even enroll in an educational institution. And it seemed to me that Bangladeshi writing was also considered to be something similar. That it doesn't belong here, that true creative writing can only be in one's mother tongue. Which, even if you look at the history of the literature of the subcontinent, is not true, because Kalidasa couldn't have spoken Sanskrit with his wife. You know, they probably spoke Prakrit. You see. These are the things that, you know, made me use that as a metaphor. You see. And also, I mean, there's also a deeper meaning, that a hijra is sterile. In the same way, you know, Buddhadev Bose, the famous Bengali modernist writer, in an entry in an encyclopedia said that, you know, Indian writing in English, or Indo-Anglian poetry, actually, is like a dead end leading nowhere, you see, so it can't keep reproducing itself, you see. So, but I think if you look at what's actually happened, clearly that argument does not hold. It's lasted long enough and seems set to last long enough to be considered as a literary tradition in its own right. At 65, one turns with alacrity to acts of piety, like recounting the life and death of a childhood hero. Aptly named Ali Hamza, he was the Kabaddi king of a stretch of boondocks big enough to be an ancient Greek republic, and sidekick to Dr. Mama, mother's elder brother, a physician 100% true to the Hippocratic oath, and as local body politician, 100% man of the people. Of course, a man of the people, or his sidekick, is never liked 100%. Ali Hamza became a thorn in the side of a big guy in the next village but one. One day, as they were passing each other on a deserted stretch of dirt track, glares gave way to hot words to a push and a shove. Ali's adversary made the mistake of throwing a brickbat at his head. Ali hurled him to the ground, picked up an iron rod rusting away among wayside weeds, and drove it right through his skull. Horrible, no doubt. But imagine the electric wrath, the gorilla grunt, the lightning thrust, and it becomes, from a purely martial angle, a deed worthy of Achilles. He got 12 years for it, a VIP among spiffs, pickpockets, and other low-life convicts, while his son plowed through school, then won a US immigration lottery, pumped gas into SUVs, and in time sponsored his dad's move to the land of the Statue of Liberty. Ali had what we call the yes-no very good variety of English, quickly adding, "Excuse me, please, sorry, thank you, sir." He got a job as security guard in a motel owned by a Patel and picked up, "Hey man, give me 5, Stop it right there. That's enough. Fuck off. Addicted to burgers and fries, so yummy and so affordable, he thought, if there's a paradise on earth, it is this, it is this, it is this. 10 years, and I can go home and die in peace. His sticker wasn't equal to the grease. When I got the news, I thought I'd write a poem. That was years ago.
Brilliant. Okay, so on Twitter, we ran the hashtag Ask Kaiser Haq, and we actually did have one question come in from Rajib Ahmed, and he's at Kajol Wamora. And his question to you is, would you agree that the ability to appreciate literature of the mass is linked to its moral, professional, and ethical development? Quite a question from Twitter.
There's an ambiguity in the question, because is it the ability of the masses to enjoy literature, or literature of the mass, which has another meaning? But I take it he means, do the masses appreciate literature better if they fulfill certain conditions? And I would say, on the whole, I mean, looking at things statistically, yes. I mean, if one is better off, better educated, has more leisure, one can spend more time appreciating the arts. But it does not necessarily follow that if one has all those things, one will, read poetry and look at paintings. And this is he has turned the usual, liberal view upside down, that, the arts have a humanizing influence on people. You see, I mean, it's a story that everyone in Bengal grows up with. You see, and I wanted to do something with it. But when I started working, I found that there are dozens of versions. They are all, and there are many more which have not been transcribed and edited and published, palm leaf manuscripts. Now, all these versions are in verse. Most of it is similar to the heroic couplet, you see. And there are also triplets, sort of alternating. And these were meant to be performed. So it's actually, it's like an epic that is actually performed. And there are folk drama groups which do that even now. In fact, at the Dhaka Literary Festival, which is going to start soon on the 19th of this month, there's a group that's going to come and perform. And in order to select that group, a competition was held in a small town, and there were many of these troupes participating. So this is it's still a thriving aspect of folk culture, about which the average, middle-class city dweller knows nothing. It was an eye-opener to me, sort of working on this. It took me about a year to get the hang of the idiom, because it's old Bengali. And because I was working from several versions, it's a composite prose retelling. So it's like me sort of recreating the story in prose.
Story of the Manasa.
The story of the snake goddess Manasa. It took me 3 years in all, but it opened my eye to the existence of this rich trove of pre-colonial writing, you see. And I plan to do a few more.